Hello everyone, what's up? It's me, YoungMaster3, and it's time for a new video. And this is going to be a little bit special type of video because I think I've never really done any of these before. I know I did maybe like one or two, I believe, and then that was it. And that was actually with my old camera. We'll see how well this goes, or if this is turning out good or not. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Okay, now it seems like I'm repeating myself over and over again, but this is going to be my attempt at making a reaction video and also like a quick little review of the film after I've watched it. So if you're familiar with Amber Prevost's channel, the guy who basically made tons of these type of videos, you pretty know much what you're in for when it comes to this. And like I said before, I have no idea how this is going to work out, but I'll do my best. And yeah, so this is basically going to be like my reaction video to like several films. So I mainly pick films that I've never seen before, because if I pick a film that I have seen before, there's no real purpose of like me showing my reactions to it, because I already know what's going to happen. So today I picked a film from the 80s, mainly because 80s is like the greatest decade in horror films in general, in my opinion. And this movie is called Vampire Knights, not knights as in knight, like with the shiny armor, basically. So, okay, that sounded really weird, but it's from 1988. I basically know nothing about this one other than the guy who directed this also made another weird film, which I haven't seen yet, which is called My Girlfriend from Hell, I believe. Which I'm not seen either. So this is pretty much a blind buy going into this, and that's mainly why you should do when you watch a film. Yeah, without further ado, let's go right into this, and we'll see how well it goes. Okay, I must say that I really like this music in the opening credits, but I don't have my hopes way too high, because I've been fooled by that before when the intro or like the opening credits has really entertaining music. Because the last film I watched with that was actually a film called Teenage Exorcist, which had a really entertaining, trashy, cheesy theme song in the opening credits, and the rest was just garbage. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm in for, but yeah, the opening credits is still really entertaining. So okay, I must say that this is really weird. We just started off this film and a character is already like watching the original Nosferatu on his TV. I just assume they do that because Nosferatu, I think, is public domain at this point, and anyone can basically release that um, on like DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, or whatever. Because I think that's been public domain for quite some time. So yeah. So this main character is obviously like obsessed with this horror show, and this horror host or whatever, he basically demands people, oh, give me money, because otherwise this horror show won't be able to broadcast in this channel anymore. So yeah, this main character is really obsessed with that, and he just wants every one of his friends to join this membership of this Vampire Knights, which I assume is the channel's name. But now it seems like they're on their way to some dancing club or some party or something. I have no idea, so we'll see how it goes from there. So it seems like the main character, he decided to stay at home instead of going with his friends to this party. And I just really not sure, but the guy who plays the main character in this film, he really looks like Craig Sheffer. I just can't help but think that every time I see this guy on screen. So yeah, just wanted to say that. So if I get this straight, it actually, there was like this lady on this bathroom, this like party, or on this party, and it seems like there were like 3 or 4 bats that came flying in through the window, and after that we just see these ladies walking right into this party. So I'm just gonna assume those ladies are actually those bats or those vampires, basically. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Oh my god, that was hilarious, I must say. This guy at this party, this damn perv, he tried to make sexual harassment towards this lady, one of the vampire ladies, and his hand started to. Hand just all of a sudden started to like burn. It's like fire all over the place, and now he's on fire, and it seems like he actually died just because of that. So that's what you get for being a perv. You get you just all of a sudden burst into flames and you die. That was pretty funny. I must say that so far this film is not particularly boring, and it's not really the greatest film out of them all with the vampire films, but it has that typical 80s charm to it, and it has a pretty good pacing because we're about like almost 30 minutes in, and we've already had like vampires like attack people. So I don't complain about the pacing or anything, but yeah, so far it's pretty damn funny if you do like some of those schlocky, stupid horror films from the 80s in general, or like so bad it's good type of films. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised because I actually thought this was gonna be really, really bad. So oh no, now there's a guy dancing, and that doesn't look good. It looks fucking awkward as hell. Oh no, just stop that. Oh. It seems like these vampires aren't your particular, like, ordinary vampires, because these vampire ladies, they're in this bathroom right now, and they looked into the mirror, and apparently they could see themselves, which does not really make any sense if you want to have your ordinary or typical vampire, like, persons in general. That's not really how it works, but then again, I'm not complaining too much because I'm just assuming this is a low budget film, and yeah, that's about it. I must say I have no idea why they keep talking about the Vampire Nights, this like club or whatever that's has some connections to this like movie channel or something, because these vampires seems to be very obsessed with that, and they don't want to know more about it for some reason, or want themselves to become like members or something, which I don't really understand what their purpose is of that. If they just want to ruin it or want to join it, I have no idea. So yeah. Okay, we're basically halfway through the movie, and I'm starting to get a little tired of this. Mainly because I have a bad feeling that, I mean, they're in this house where this nerd lives, basically, and it seems like they're not gonna go get anywhere else out of this. So I'm afraid that the rest of the film is just gonna take place inside of this house. And why I say I'm afraid of that is because when you make a film, you need to have interesting characters if you're just going to have one simple location. But I wouldn't say none of these characters aren't really likable in any type of way, really. I mean, they're not. I don't hate them, but I don't love them either. It's just sort of meh. And yeah, I have a bad feeling about that, and I hope that we get any other location or something just to help this movie go forward. So yeah, getting pretty tired of this, sadly. Okay, I must say the character of Ken, he is not likable whatsoever anymore. I mean, he was probably the least douchebag type of guy in this entire film until this moment when he realized his friend was actually attacked and killed by a vampire, and he thought that was really cool. I think that was supposed to be funny, but that just came across as really stupid and weird. And yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, a vampire attack in my own house. How cool!" Mainly just because he's a nerd when it comes to vampire things in general. So yeah, I don't think he would react like that. And I think they meant that that was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't funny. So yeah, it's just too bad. Okay, I know this is like a low budget horror film, but one thing that gets really irritating in some of these low budget horror films in general is the main purpose of, okay, these vampires are in this house, and these persons and like the main characters in this film, they are stuck in this house, but are they really stuck? I mean, just walk out the door and just call for help or call the police or do something. Now they're just stupid walking around like, oh, we can't get out or anything. Just run towards the door, and yeah, just get help in some way. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating, but yeah. I'm not really sure, but it seems like he got bitten by one of these vampires right now. And oh, apparently one of the vampire ladies actually has a wig. I did not see that coming, but yeah. Seems like he thought he was bitten. I'm not too sure if he got bitten or not, but he looked really scared. So he might have gotten bitten, but I have no idea. But I think we'll have to wait to see if he actually got bitten or not. But yeah. Okay, so in some weird way, uh, the vampire chick with the wig, she somehow got herself into this TV show or into this horror host show or whatever. How, I have no idea, but he basically just taunted her through the TV or something, saying like, any vampire who wants to challenge me, just come at me. Um, so yeah, I don't think we're gonna get an explanation of how she just were able to just walk right into his show and no one really noticing, or like no one really thought it was weird or anything. But yeah, this film is really lacking right now, and some of the musical score is just horrible. I mean, the last half an hour or so has been really frustrating. So I hope for something really entertaining to happen for these last 13 or 12 minutes or so. So yeah, keep my fingers crossed. Oh, finally it's over. Uh, I did not like this one. Oh, I think it's such a shame because there's so many like not video, but so many films that tends to like start off like really good or like somewhat entertaining and interesting, and then like somewhere in the mid section it just dies. And yeah, I think it's a shame. It's really a shame. I'm just gonna shut that off because I don't want to hear any more about that. Just so I can make this small little my thoughts on the film. So it starts off pretty interesting with these like characters, like this main character who's like real obsessed with vampires and the vampire show and all of that. So I think that's it quite interesting to for him to be a character like that in this type of film. He's probably the best character of them all, except I didn't really. There were some bits and clips here and there which I just didn't care for the way he's acting towards his friends and stuff like that. And I think it's, I mean, the acting isn't really the greatest. That's the main problem as well. I would say. I would say the first half an hour or so is pretty damn entertaining, but after that, it just felt like they had no idea what they were gonna do with the rest. The way these vampires just appear out of nowhere is pretty weird, but still somewhat interesting because you can clearly see that they were like vampires, not real vampire, not real bats, but they were like bats flying into this party, and then all of a sudden we have the vampires there, and there's no really explanation to why they arrived at this party at this point. Um, and we don't really get any idea of why they just want to get information about this show, because one of the lead vampires, she just somehow got into the TV and pretty much killed off this horror host, because they pretty much saw him as like a bad guy or something. I have no idea, and there's like really no motive to why they are there and why they kill off these people. It just seems like they just do it for fun, really. And next to no blood or gore effects, I would say. A little blood here and there, but it's just your typical lame, boring stuff. And another thing which I found to be pretty weird as well is, like I mentioned during this reaction thing, that they never decided to, or they never thought of just going outside of the house, because one of the characters just actually decided to go out of the house at one point, and he just got attacked by a dog, and that was the reason why he just ran back towards the house and into the house again, which is really weird. Why couldn't he just shoot that dog out of desperation with that crossbow he had before? Because he actually did hit one of the other vampires with that crossbow, and he had a pretty good aim with that. So I have no idea why he just didn't just shoot the dog, just to just to run out of there. And I'm not really saying that I wanted to see him shoot the dog. I just say, what would you do in a situation like that? But once again, this is a low budget, stupid schlock film. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst things I've seen. I just think it's just such a shame because it started out pretty interesting and weirdly entertaining. But yeah, after half an hour or so, it just sort of dies, which I think is really unfortunate. And the fact that most of the film is just filmed at this one location doesn't really help the film either. But if you like your low budget vampire films from the 80s, I guess go for it. But otherwise, I'll just say stay away from this. If you want to watch a really good film, yeah, definitely stay away from this film. I would not recommend this to anyone unless you're a die-hard vampire fan of like vampire films in the 80s in general. Yeah, I don't really think I recognize any of the actors. Maybe one of the vampires. I think she was also in Slumber Party Massacre. Uh, and also in, what's that called, American Ninja 4, I believe she was also in. That's the only ones that comes to mind at this moment, but I don't really recognize any of the actors or anything, and apparently the director has only directed 2 or 3 films, I believe, so yeah, but overall I wouldn't say you really need to see this one, and in my opinion I would probably give this a 4 out of 10. Yeah, that's just my opinion, and some of the people probably like this film, or probably people just hate this, but that's my rating for now, and hopefully this worked out well. We'll see how it goes, if it just is a complete error or a complete mess or not, but if you want me to make more of these type of videos in the near future, just leave me suggestions of films you want me to watch. I just picked this at random, basically, just because, vampire film from the 80s. I have a soft spot for the 80s in general, and especially vampire films. So that was the main reason why I picked this one. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.